Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Break me, melt me, mold me, fill me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me.
So that's the song we heard 3 weeks ago when we started. It was how we heard it the first day. And we've all been through some things since then. And one of the things I'd like to do, if you were here, we'd sing that song with different dynamics. We're going to do that again to have the singers sing it with different dynamics. Now, what we did is we turned down the volume and turned up the volume. So it's kind of artificial. But we know as musicians, when we take a different interpretation with dynamics or timing or something like that, it makes the song different, the song, like Brahms' song or Stravinsky's song. So listen to this one and see how when we begin singing it softly, it's a call of supplication. Then when we crescendo during the asks, melt me, mold me, fill me, we're asking to be filled by the Spirit, and then we commit to the Spirit in the final line. So I hope you enjoy this second verse with the dynamics.
Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Break me, melt me, mold me, fill me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me.
Welcome to Evening Sing, the final activity of Credo Online 2020. I'm so grateful that each of you has attended the lessons, classes, lectures, recitals, lunches, and faculty firesides of Credo this year, and that you've inspired yourself and others with your service projects. While you've just seen a shadow of the Credo program, I've heard from many of you that you've caught Credo's vision, that the joy created when we combine our pursuit of musical excellence with faith issues in an atmosphere of friendship, fun, and service. It's really fun. Every year we hear of many lives being changed by the freshness and energy of that combined approach. I've been to Credo 22 times. Overall, I've spent about 2 years of my life at Credo. And I've had a lot of time to reflect on why this place and program is so magic and how we can keep it going. And that's going to be the first of my 2 points today. I think we want to keep Credo going. In the words I've heard people who come to Oberlin over the years, we want to keep it going. Our best friends are here. We find the best versions of ourselves at Credo. We can't imagine our lives without Credo. Well, the good news is that you don't have to be without Credo. Credo is in you and around you. As they say, once a night of Narnia, always a night of Narnia. That means you can always come back here whenever you need to. Except that to come back to Credo, you won't need a magic wardrobe. You've been exposed to many good thoughts and habits here, and it's way easier to do these in our community, but there's no reason you can't keep doing them in your active life. Keep these things active, rather, in your life. In a macro sense, I think Credo affects people because here at Credo, we're blessed to see each other as God sees us. Full of possibility, full of joy. In our classical music geek bubble here, we feel we can trust everyone, be appreciated by everyone, and see everyone as a possible source of joy. In short, more than most places we usually are, here we see that we're made in God's image. Now, what does it mean to be made in God's image? We need to ask, what is God? The Bible in 1 John 4:8 tells us a very simple answer. God is love. So then we need to ask, what is love? Corinthians 13:4-17 gives us all the attributes of love. Love is patient and kind. It doesn't envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist in its own way. It's not irritable or resentful. Love does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And then comes the key line, which applies to today. Love never ends. So if you want to stay in Credo mode forever, just be love. So are we made in God's image? Am I? Are you? If so, all we need to do is be pictures of love. And we should expect others to be pictures of love too. So as I said, that was my first point. Just keep Credo going by continuing the love at Credo. And you've all experienced that in different ways. And we asked people to talk a little bit. One of the things that's missing at this virtual Credo is student-led morning sings. And usually students get to do it on Saturday, I think, right? Once a week, and students get to stand up and lead morning sings. So you don't have to listen to the old people, which is kind of nice. So we didn't have that opportunity because we had fewer morning sings, and I didn't know if the online community was going to create that process. So instead what we did is we invited people to submit some things that they learned at Credo or appreciated at Credo. And so Mary's going to play those now as the student contribution to this final morning sing.
I've been attending music camps for many years, and as much as I miss the personal interaction, I was surprised to find that this year's Credo had some unique experiences that I'm happy to have been a part of. The multifaceted topics presented in Zoom lectures were something that I wouldn't have been able to experience in a normal music program. I was happy to learn about subjects such as music and the brain, analyzing Beethoven, and specific technical topics.
I think even in this online format, we've maintained so many of the most important parts of Credo that are to me like the morning sings. They helped me start out my mornings right and in the right frame of mind, and getting to participate in the service projects made me get out there and still contribute to my community in the way that I can. And stuff like the master classes helped me think about my playing in new different kinds of ways, and the faculty firesides, which I always loved at camp, were still just as enjoyable, and I love listening to the faculty talk about their lives.
I've learned that we can all grow in our musical gifts together, even while separated by distance. My favorite parts of Credo were the lunches because they gave me the opportunity to meet and get to know new musicians.
Credo's been really great for me this year. It's given me the knowledge and know-how to be confident in my playing and the ability to know that everything's going to work out.
Online Credo has been such a special place for me this summer. I've really enjoyed the chance to spend time virtually with lots of like-minded people who are interested in improving all of our musical skills and also spending some time thinking about our faith and how that relates to music. I've really appreciated how the faculty, especially in private lessons, have been so good about making the most of the technology we have. And despite the fact that we can't be together, it's been so nice to get to hear everyone play and hear everyone talk about how much they love music.
I think the online format was as good as it could possibly be. I especially enjoyed the oral history of string playing class and the music theory classes. I thought those were very interesting. I also loved hanging out with other students and faculty in lunch groups, and it was really cool to get to know people through our service cohorts.
Credo means to me a place where you can share musical passions while developing good connections with friends and faculty. It has really made me change my view on what it takes to be a good musician. It taught me that being a good musician isn't just having good technique or intonation, but telling a good story to connect with people.
This was my first year at Credo. I thought it was pretty good, even though we weren't in Ohio. It was a really great experience, and some things I loved about Credo were morning sing was great, listening to the music, and I loved the master classes. Those were really helpful on some tips for music and everything, and hopefully next year I can actually go there.
Some of my favorite parts of Credo have been observing the master classes. I have also enjoyed hearing the faculty firesides and their musical journeys.
I learned more than just musical techniques. I also learned how to be a better person. I learned to show compassion towards others and to help those in need. My favorite part of Credo this year was performing in the Make Music event.
My favorite part of Credo was the master classes because I learned so much from watching other musicians perform. I also especially liked the technique classes. Credo meant so much to me this year because I was still able to connect with other musicians and to learn more about becoming a musician in spite of the pandemic.
I made a lot of new friends, and I learned that even though there's a pandemic separating us, we can still learn and be together and worship God and still be musicians and show our care for others. And I think this year at Credo was a really good way for me to grow as a person, even though I wasn't there physically.
Although I wish we could have worked together in person, I learned so much from my instructors and through the classes. I learned to listen to my playing more closely and try to evaluate exactly what I want to improve. My favorite part of Credo was the Bach recital. Thank you.
I think one of the things that I've been most impressed with at Credo is the community, because despite being virtual, people have still managed to create spaces for interaction, which is really impressive because I haven't seen that at some other camps.
The students, you could tell, were just very nice. After I played in my first master class, I was met with a lot of kind comments. The students were very supportive. The teachers there, I worked with Hsieh Bernhardsen and David Bullen. They helped me to become a much more relaxed and confident musician. And if you had to ask me what Credo meant to me, I'd say it means a strong community that can persevere through pandemics and distance.
I've learned a lot about music these past few weeks, but one thing I'm particularly impressed by is all of the people at Credo, involved in making it a very cool experience for us, the participants. From the online lunches to the master classes, and of course down to the teacher placement and Zoom lessons. I guess I've learned that no matter where you are, you can always take the smallest steps to combat the most scary, unexpected circumstances and retain some normalcy.
At the beginning of this year, I had no idea there would be a pandemic and so many things would be canceled. Thankfully, Credo was put online. My favorite parts of this camp are the master classes and the lessons. I have met a lot of new friends as well. Although this summer is not what I expected, I will always remember and cherish the moments I spent at Credo Online 2020.
So I hadn't seen all of that. It's interesting to see how often the word community came up and people were talking about the people at Credo, which is like all you guys. So, or as they say in Texas, all y'all. That was a shout out to the Texans there. So point number 2 is community, +1. So students, you're at an exciting stage of life right now. You're navigating the exciting and dangerous rapids as you careen through your teen and young adult years. Your life is constantly changing, presenting new thrills and challenges. You can negotiate a successful path through these rapids by relying on 3 important kinds of people: in your life: friends, teachers, and parents. As we leave Credo, I'd like to posit the inclusion of yet one more element. I'm pretty certain you feel the need to have a good set of friends, and I'm here to say today that whatever you need from your friends, God is there to provide it better than any human. Do you need friends who will always be there for you? God will do that. Do you need friends who will listen and take care of you? God will do that. Do you need friends who help you make the right choices? God can do that. Do you need friends who will love you for who you are? God does that. Always has, always will. So keep your great friends, including ones you met here at Credo, but make sure to add God to the top of your list of friends. So most of you are here at Credo because you're fortunate enough to have a great private teacher guiding your instrumental path. What are some of the characteristics of a good teacher? Again, God does these better than any human. A good teacher believes in you. God does that. A good teacher tells you the truth. God does that, even when we don't want to hear it. A good teacher sets out goals for you that stretch you just far enough. God does that. A good teacher delights in your achievements. God does that. Today that you have a great teacher on your instrument, but be sure to look to the greatest teacher of all. At this stage of life, you also need good parents. This is a tricky one because you're changing, developing, growing at such a fast rate that it's hard for everybody involved in the relationship to make the right changes. How much do you need your parents? You might think you don't need them as much as your parents think you do. And you may need them way more than you know or realize. So what do good parents do for you? A good parent loves you unconditionally. God does that. A good parent provides a safe haven for you in the storms of life. God does that. A good parent provides for you sacrificially. God did that. Gave us his son Jesus. A good parent disciplines and gets you on the right path. God does that too. My wife says that God has a 2x4 with her name written on it, and God gently guides her by wielding this 2x4. So God does discipline us to keep us on the right path. So you need great friends, wonderful parents, and a great mentor teacher. And I hope that your life gives you all of these. But in our imperfect world, maybe you have a feeling that one or more of these areas in your life is less than optimal. The great news is that God can fill in perfectly for your needs as friend, teacher, or parent. Not to replace those needs, but to fill out your lives by bringing his power and desire for relationship from a different dimension. Maybe you have the trifecta: perfect parents, perfect teachers, perfect friends. My belief tells me that you still need one more person in your life, a savior. I believe it's possible and important to have a personal relationship with God, to accept his sovereignty in your life. And I just said this relationship was a personal one. Your relationship with God will be different than anyone else's. In a recent interview, somebody asked me what comes after Credo. And I said, look at the shirt. It says, whatever, ... I think that's Credo, ... For each of you, our mighty and amazing God, the maker of the universe, wants to meet you in a proper and perfectly personal way. That's the joyful mystery of God. If you let God be your leader and partner in the course of life, the ... will be filled with joy and meaning. So I hope your time at Credo has helped you experience God in a way that gives you hunger and thirst to continue to pursue his presence in your life. My closing thought for you comes from Philippians 4:8. Credo's centering verse, and the verse immediately after that one too, instructing what to do with what you've experienced here. So, quoting Philippians 4:8, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if there is anything excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or the faculty or the students at Credo. Very different edition. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put in practice, and the God of peace will be with you. We all need peace these days. We all need God these days. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to close. We often close morning sing with a prayer. I'm going to close evening sing with a prayer and a blessing and scripture all combined. And this is how we end every Credo concert, have done it for 22 years. So we all get together, and after we play our music together, we sing together. And that's going to be really hard this year. So thankfully, we have a recording from 2015 with the Credo Orchestra singing in Warner Concert Hall, which would have been you, like in a normal year. And a bunch of our students this year sent in videos. So we had an alumnus that combined those. And it's a little like the end of Star Wars, you know, where we've got all the heroes up there and then the ghosts of the heroes come in. So all the ghosts from other Credo years are there to be on the DS with you. So this has been sung at Credo every year for the last 22 years. And I'm really grateful that we're doing it now. I'll say the words, and then Mary will play the hymn as a blessing. And we're here at Credo because we love being with you. And we look forward to a time when we can be together in person or online or whatever's going to be happening. And if you ever need anything from any of us, reach out to us. We're here for you. So, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. I look forward to the time when we're all together. I don't know how to end this. This is going to be awkward, so I'll just turn off my camera. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being part of everything this year. God be with you.